The sunrise poured in from her narrow bay windows, slowly and steadily, like flames of yellow and orange. The light crept toward the casual and very messy bed that the girl lay in. All too soon it was morning, and the busy streets of this old city got busier and louder. She blinked in morning light like a child. Her big dark brown eyes take everything in at once. As she did every morning, she dragged herself out of a sweet, cozy cotton bed blanket. There were a million little things running through her funny head. She thought about how she would spend the day, about the fight with her parents the previous night, about the insecurity of her own look and even her future. Once she surfaced. She executed a very clumsy leap out of bed, more often than not. She would get her foot tangled and fall so ungracefully to the floor. But little did she know, that day was a life-changing day for her, the day she met her beloved husband. In the bathroom, she examined her morning self in the mirror. She was having crusty eyes plus an unpleasant morning breath. Later, she was nicely showered, dressed in her comfy clothes and her favorite faded black bag, without makeup or any accessory. The girl then made her way down the wooden stairs, propelling herself into the kitchen. She was just in time to have her favorite breakfast. Throughout the day, happiness seems to envelop her like a blanket. Even the heavy traffic or the crazy, dusty, polluted air could not destroy her oddly optimism. Lee was heading toward a small books event all by herself, because her friends were busy and she loved having some time of her own. She was very excited because she got the chance to meet some of her favorite writers. They were not famous. They had a small, close-knit community, which had a great impact on her life in so many ways. And there came a man. Just a regular man with the most casual appearance. He was the host of that event. And then something expanded in her chest and cut off her air supply a little bit as he started to talk. She swore it was a voice made of muffins and cotton candies. But what truly attracted her was the way his intelligence and gracefulness outshined. She hadn't even known that she started to adore him more than just a fan since that moment. Her hand felt clammy, and the temperature started to burn on her cheeks. She was finally able to swallow. A huge lump rolled down her throat. She hadn't felt like this for a while. She had been single for the last couple of years, and before that, she had been in a relationship with someone that had been her best friend. She had always been a little skeptical when it came to the opposite gender. Maybe it was because of the unhealthy relationship that she had before, or maybe it was just because she had settled for less than she deserved. For years, she would meet guys and think, he's nice, but or he's attractive. Well, but every single time there was always an excuse. There were even times she couldn't put her finger on what the word but was. Well, but then she knew there was something not right, something out of her comfort zone. She had been very stressful about her appearance for quite some time. She hated her body shape. She hated how her mom always criticized about how horrible her fashion sense was. She doubted herself for years. She didn't feel beautiful. She didn't feel smart or attractive in any way. She started to doubt that she could actually really open up to someone, and maybe her walls were so high that she was expecting something didn't even exist. However, this time was different. This particular day, all of her insecurity vanished into the thin air. Afterward, she asked that man to sign her book and a small conversation. You might wonder how she got that nerve. Many girls get tongue-tied when they meet a man they are attracted to. This can be a really painful experience. But this is Lee, the Alaska Goldilocks brown bear we are talking about. If there is one thing you must know about Lee, it would be her truthfulness. She would speak her mind in almost any circumstances without any hesitation. She still remembered their first socially conversation. He asked her if she knew what she wanted to do in the future. She just had no clue back then, and he motivated her with his kindness, like an author giving his fan a nice advice with a slide of his own opinion. Though he couldn't ignore her shining personality that day. He thought she was just like any other readers and didn't realize that she already had her own way to sneak in his mind and his heart. Because he was not the type of person who accepted a friend request from a stranger or from the one he had just met. But there he was, seeing Lee's invitation, skimming through her Facebook account, and unconsciously accepted the request. Maybe deep down, they wanted just what everyone else on this planet desired. Someone loved them for who they truly are, and someone to share the joys of life with. But in some point of time, they also wanted to hold on to the freedom and the less complicated life of being single. They were talking contradictory, sabotaging their own chances of even meeting someone else. It's kind of funny looking back, because they had no idea a new chapter had just begun. For Lee, she felt that she had always been a happy person, a fortunate young human being. But this new love widened her views. She was happier than ever. Oh, the sky didn't fall. The stars didn't shine down. The moon was not bigger. The rain was still irritating. But she enjoyed the open sky more. She appreciated the stars shining above her. She started loving the moon as much as she loved the sun. And the rain was irritating and yet refreshing. She was in love. Here it is, a familiar sound from the alarm. The weather today is not perfect. The sun does not shine all pink and yellow. It isn't hugging or cherishing her like in an autumn morning. Today is a bit chilly and humid. Today, Lee doesn't roll in her favorite cotton blanket like a cocoon anymore. She woke up long before that. She stuns a bit, nervously takes a deep breath, flutters her eyes. All the surroundings could not invade her glows. Her beauty is now accentuated with maturity and a dollop of innocence thrown in. She is loved by all friends and family, and be adored by the man who just a few more hours from now soon will be called husband. She smiles as she remembers his touch in the middle of the night. She imagines him hugging her from behind as she washes all the dishes in the kitchen. She gets reminded of all the time she grumbling at him and how her life hangs on his whispered, sweet nonsense things. She adored his little habits, hugging, tickling her, teasing her, sitting there and listening to her never-end stories, or just being near her, following her from room to room. Then she sees the letter he wrote on their first date. She pinned it on the wardrobe, just one short sentence that makes her tear up. Dear Lee, please make us last.